Welcome back, gamers. So today we're going to be talking about tips and tricks in ARMA REFORGER. Some of these tips are going to be for newbies, some will be for more advanced players. It's going to be a mix of them. Because I did a few tips and tricks in the past, I think my first one was about like 8 months ago. It did really decent, but I had no script at all. And I don't really have a script for this one, but I got bullet points kind of what to talk about in each tip. So hopefully it is more down to the point and straightforward for you guys. With that being said, let's get into the video. So the first tip is going to be loadout boxes. The key point in ARMA REFORGER. And I say this because you can't build a kit without these loadout boxes, right? So the ones on the left are going to be weapons, and the ones on the right are going to be equipment. Pretty straightforward. You can go up to the box, open it up, and you can see all your equipment here. There's a decent variety, but it's not as much as like if I was running mods, because this is completely vanilla REFORGER right now. One of the features that everyone overlooks on these boxes are the fact that you can scroll down and you can take the ammo right from here. So you can grab your current weapon ammo, whether it be tracers or normal FMJs, wherever it might be, you could take it directly from this menu instead of opening the box and actually selecting each individual one. You can do the same thing for your UGL ammo, like I have a grenade launcher on, so you can grab them right from here, and grenades. This rolls right into the next one, which is save loadout. Now, if you do not save your loadout, when you die and you respawn, you're going to be with no kit or nothing. You're going to have your basic M16, no backpack, nothing. So when you make sure you save that loadout before you go out, so that way when you die, you respawn with your kit, right? And when you go ahead and save it, you'll get this little prompt at the top right hand corner right there. You save the loadout, the same current loadout, no changes have been made. So everything's good. If you get that, you're fine. Now, if I had some Russian equipment on me, it would say, this specific item does not belong, you cannot save it because it's on the Russian side. You can only save whatever your faction equipment is. Next very important tip is going to be the shovel. Always keep a shovel on your kit. That way you can build different things, because there's going to be a lot of bases that don't have these equipment bases, or let's say the base doesn't have a vehicle bay and you need to build it. That's going to be very important to have a shovel. They don't weigh very much, so put one on your kit and save that stuff. That rolls us into the next one as well. The next one is going to be building. So you want to go to one of these main tents, the command tents, go up this board, and go to start building. Now you go into this little like game master menu, this build menu, where you can see everything in like a third person bird's eye view. Click down on the D-pad if you're on Xbox, or you can just scroll on the mouse and click it if you're on PC. And then you can select what you want to build. So let's build a small vehicle bay. Select that. If it's in the red, you can't. If it's yellow, it means it's close to being okay, but it's not quite there. So when you find some kind of flat land like this, let's build it out of the way. Over here, you select it. It doesn't build it automatically, it just places it there. So now you can exit the menu. And like I said, it doesn't build it for you. You need that shovel. But you don't see anything, you just see these little posts here. Whenever you see these little wooden posts, this structure needs to be built. Actually, they're not wooden. They're metal posts. I always thought they were wooden. That's interesting. I'm learning. I'm still learning. You know. All right. So you select your shovel, and then you'll see the structure highlighted in the white transparent look. You go over to the middle of it, or somewhere near where it says build, and then you just click Y in my case until it's built up. Alright, and there it is, all built up. Now, base building is more important than just building like structures like this, where you can get vehicles. You can actually build sandbags and machine gun turrets and bunkers and stuff like that around your base to kind of fortify the base, so that's very important. So, tracer rounds. A lot of people don't like using them because the enemies can see exactly where you're shooting from. You know, they can trace it back right to you. But for new players, it might be good to use tracer rounds so that way you can see where you're hitting, especially if like using a longer range scope than this, you can actually see how far the drop is in the gun. Like that drops quite a bit. And if you're new and you don't know the ranges of it, you're not going to know that you have to adjust your aim up higher to hit something. Not only that, tracers have a dual purpose where they actually will set a vehicle on fire faster, which is very interesting. And test the exact amount of tracer rounds it takes to set this thing on fire. And we're going to aim towards where the gas tank is, because right here on it is where you fill it up. And I believe the gas tank is actually underneath the driver's seat, if I'm not mistaken. Because I don't see it anywhere else. And we're going to count exactly how many shots it takes to do this, and then we'll switch to a different ammo. and shoot that one and see if there's a big difference. You know, I just realized the magazine I have in my gun right now are not tracer. I switched it out by accident. That was a full 30-round magazine and it's not on fire yet. There, let's get a full mag in here. Full 30-round mag to the gas tank area, and it did not set it on fire. Now let's see, it's the exact same Jeep. It's just different color pattern. That's it. And don't tell me the paint is better on it. It makes it more tough. Okay, we got tracers in now, and we'll count how many. What was that, 28? I think I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 25. So five less. So it takes 5 less rounds of tracer to set the vehicle on fire faster. It might not seem like a lot, but if you're using full auto, you can burn one of these vehicles really quickly. That was another 30 rounds with normal ammo and still not on fire. So that's a full 60 rounds on this thing. Whereas that took 25. That is 90 rounds on this target. Still not on fire. Alright, on that last mag. So 90, it wasn't on fire, and it probably shot 10 to 15, so let's call it 100. It took 100 rounds to set this thing on fire, where it only took 25 to set this one on fire with tracers. That is a big advantage for tracers. Like I said, a lot of players don't want to use tracers because they don't want to be seen, but it's very effective against vehicles. Alright, this next one's going to be very simple. Now, I'm on Xbox controller, even though I'm playing on PC, judge me all you want, but it's going to be adjusting the radio. So you want to hit the left bumper, where you can talk on the radio. You can see a little symbol in the left-hand corner, and you hit X. That brings up the weapon wheel. And you can adjust your radio, whether you talk platoon or you talk your group radio, like your squad. And I can actually adjust these frequency by using the up and down D-pads by changing the exact radio frequency. And you can tell on 38 megahertz, I'm Atlas Red 3. Very simple, very easy. Now, keyboard and mouse, it's just going to be a different keybind, that's all. It's very simple. You can just look in the menu itself. I know, sorry keyboard guys, but I grew up console player, so I'm used to controller. That's how it is. Alright, so this next one's going to be spawn relocations. A lot of new players think that when you respawn, you're always going to spawn around this tent or in this tent, and that's not true. One of the biggest spawn points that everyone actually camps, unfortunately, is going to be the radio tower. You can spawn here, and that's why when you build a base, I don't recommend putting the radio tower right next to this base here, because enemy players will sit like right outside here and camp both locations. The radio relay station is not the only respawn place as well. There is the living quarters, the small one, the field hospital, and the large living quarters. Now if we select this, let's say we put this, I don't think it's going to let me because I'm on a hill here. Of course I am, right? Let's just say it allowed me to put it like down here. If I built that down here, now I respawned at this base, I would have a chance of spawning here or at the other two locations. You can't choose where you respawn within the base, it's all random. But if you spread out all the different areas, there's more chance of not getting spawn killed. It's a very helpful tip right there, at least I think so. While we're on this menu, we're going to be talking about supplies. Now, not too long, just real quick, not running supplies, but how can you build your base up better and how can you carry more supplies? Every structure that has this symbol on it, large supply storage, will be able to hold some kind of supply. So if I build one of these, this can hold supplies, living quarters, field hospital. This one actually has a small one, which I did not know about. as well as the vehicle bay and the weapon arsenal. All those symbols, so you can go over and check out what the symbols mean, and if any symbol look like this, you're able to actually put supplies in. Because there's a max number of supplies that each asset will hold, so the more assets you have that can hold supplies means you can build that base up bigger and better. Have you ever been just running around the game, and you go to aim down sight, and you can't hit anything because your guy is swaying like a crack baby, you know what I mean? Like look at that weapon sway. Not that bad in this red dot, but you have something with a scope, like a sniper, that weapon sway gets very intense. Now that's because of stamina. After running, your guy's gonna be very tired, and the best way to recover stamina is the crouch. So you get that much weapon sway when you're crouching, run a little bit more, and then I'll show you how it is when I'm standing up. That's a lot more than before. When you crouch, look how steady the dot is compared to before. Now, the bottom left hand corner, there's going to be a stamina bar that you're going to see when you run. Now, I'm on Game Master, so it doesn't show it, unfortunately. But in the bottom left hand corner, there is a stamina bar. And the best way to recover it is to either lay down or just crouch. And that stamina will come up. Note to self, if you're aiming on sight and you're trying to recover stamina, it won't be as fast. Hold your gun down at the hip and your guy will recover stamina faster. Maybe you can't sit there and wait for your stamina to get back up to get into a firefight. So instead of just sitting there and waiting for your stamina, you can use mounting. So you hit left stick on the controller down, and your guy mounts to any object that is at the height of the gun. And you can actually slide the gun around, which is nice. And it actually depends on what surface, because you can see it clicking off. But you can drag it around, and you can swivel. And you have almost no weapon sway like this. This is very good for getting precise shots. A lot of times I go behind a Humvee and I'll use the Humvee like this as cover. Some guns have bipods and you can click the bipod out. Right bumper and X will actually deploy a bipod if you have it on your gun. Now if you have bipod, you won't have to crouch like down here to mount it. You actually mount the gun up by standing up here like this. And believe it or not, you can actually mount players. That sounds very wrong, but yeah. This guy's crouching right now. See if we can mount him or not. See if it'll let me. See, there it is. I'm on his head. You can use your teammates to mount and just steady your aim. It's a little bugged looking, but yeah, you get the concept, right? I'm mounted on his shoulder, aiming at his head. But yeah, if your teammate crouches down like this and you stand up behind them, you can actually mount on top of their head or their shoulder and take a better shot. Now this one here is something that I already know a lot of players do not know. What if you pull a pin of a grenade and you're about to throw it and you realize it's teammates? What do? You can actually put the pin back into the grenade. And now on controller it is X. You put that pin right back in there, just like that. So pull the pin of grenade. If you want to put it back in, hit the X button on controller. All my controller keybinds are basic and I have not done any keybind changes. For keyboard mouse, you might have to look up that in the actual menu itself. I apologize once again. Have you ever wondered, sometimes you see players on the field and you see their group name. Sometimes it's not normal group names like Atlas Red 3. They're like funny group names or they're cool like a recon team. How do you change that? Well, you hit start button in the right bumper. And this brings up the group menu. Now from there, I can see who's in the group itself. I mean, I'm playing Game Master, so I'm by myself. But if you look down there, you can hit the select button. You can make it public or private. And then you can select whatever you want for the name. That's completely up to you. That's a very simple way of how to get to the group menu itself. The next one that everyone should know is map reading. Now, I do have a full map video on my channel. It goes over all of the different symbols and everything. This is just going to be a quick overview of how to read the map itself. Because in vanilla ARMA REFORGER, there is no blue chip system or GPS system. I can't tell where I am. The only way you can tell where you are is by this dialogue down here. It says, I'm Southern Everon, near Swell Mountain. So you can look around and kind of see exactly where you are by that. Now, zoom in, Swell Mountain right here. Like I said, it's not an exact pinpoint, but it tells you where you are. It says near. Sometimes it'll say north of Swell Mountain or south of Swell Mountain. Because I'm on top, I'm literally like on Swell Mountain, it just says near. That and reading landmarks, stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not going to go too much into that because my other video covers that entirely. go check that out. I really highly recommend it. This next one's kind of fun. We're going to be talking about C4, or demolition charges they're called. I call them C4 because it's essentially, that's what it is, C4. So we're going to go ahead and grab a demolition block. Grab 2 of them, why not? And you do not need the detonator, but if you want to find the detonator, you have to actually find that in the equipment box. It's not in the arsenal box for the weapons. It is this little green thing. On the Russian side, it'll be a red square block, more or less like a dark red. So what you want to do to use it, go up to an object when it's blue, click it on there, and then you could either arm it with a time delay, or you can pull your clacker, or I call it clacker, or it's called blasting device, right? So it gives you a new prop saying you can arm it. Once it's armed, you're good to go. So make sure you get a good distance, and then on control it is X to detonate. Don't hit the fire button, because if you hit the shoot button, it's going to put the device away. X is to blow it up. I believe it's R on PC, on the keyboard. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, when we're ready, it takes about 1.5 seconds, I believe. About a second. Now, a big note is the Russian side one takes a lot longer. It takes about like 2 seconds, because it's a spool style system. He spools the device up and then clicks the button. Whereas this one is just a pull of your hand. You know, you're just like clenching your hand and it blows it up. Adjusting your scopes are very important. So say like I got this red dot on here and I want to hit someone way out there. You could shoot at them, or you could hold X, inspect your weapon, pull off your red dot, and put on the 4x20 carry handle scope. Now the scope allows you to reach out further and see better. That goes with any gun in the game, any scope in the game, whether it be mods or not. Inspecting your gun allows you to change attachments, like if you're on a modded server when you have suppressors, different ammo types, grenade launcher, stuff like that. And the biggest thing to know is, say if I like this gun, the scope on there, I don't want to keep taking it off for close range combat, you can actually switch your scope to the default scope, which is the iron sights. To do that, while you're aiming down sight, you hold down the right bumper and then you tap Y. And that switches back and forth from the iron sights to the actual sniper scope. I guarantee a lot of people do not know this. Probably 90% of ARMA REFORGERs do not know this. You can put a fire out with a wrench. I know that makes no sense, but I'll show you right here. We're going to go ahead and set this vehicle on fire. Let's hit it a little bit more. Alright, scary, you got a fire going, don't want to get burnt. Pull your wrench, go up to the front of the vehicle, and extinguish fire. Like I said, this makes absolutely no sense, and they should add fire extinguishers in the game. But there it is. And the fire is out, that simple. All vehicles in the back trunk. Come on, let me see the trunk here. There it is, trunk. Has a wrench. All vehicles will have, all these Jeeps anyway, will have a wrench, fuel canister with like 25% fuel, and 2 bandages. So like I said, don't freak out if your vehicle goes on fire and you don't have a wrench on you. Just run to the back of the vehicle, grab it, and then repair that thing. Humvee glass. So the Humvee glass itself is not all bulletproof all around the vehicle. It is only bulletproof in the front. Now it is only bulletproof to like AK rounds like 7.62 by 39, or even the 5.45 rounds or 5.56. Anything larger will go through. Now we'll test this right here. Shoot him once. You see the crack, but it doesn't go through and hit him. We'll go ahead and over the side.
One, I'm hit.
And he's hit, as you said. So if you're actually, a lot of players will actually drive up to enemies and swerve off to the side and get out of the vehicle, which then they can actually get shot through the side window. The best thing to do in engagement is to stay with the vehicle forward like this, where the enemies have to shoot through the bulletproof glass, and then get out from there. And we're going to test right now, actually, how many rounds, if any, can get through here. Those are tracers. Actually, let's load some normal stag rounds. Yeah, nothing's getting through that. Not this caliber, anyway. So 5.56, 5.45 will not go through. Now, to prove that a larger round will go through, we're going to go ahead and grab an M14, or M21, actually. This is a good old 308 round. instantly dead. So if you're on the Russian side and using a Dragunov, that will penetrate that armor really easy. And you get the prompt saying friendly fire is not tolerated, not good. Yeah. The normal prompt. Morphine is very important in this game. I know I keep saying very important. All these tips are very important in my opinion. But as you can see, I only have 1 morphine on me. I usually keep 3 to 4 at least. Morphine does more than just heal your character. It actually will help with weapon sway. So say if I get shot in the arm, there will be a little symbol right here saying if it's bleeding or not, or if it's just broken or hurt. You can then inject your character with morphine, and it'll improve that area. And it's very realistic with if I get shot in the arm at all, my weapon sway will be increased, or if I get shot in the leg, my walking and running will be decreased as well. In my opinion, the steps of healing yourself should be bandaging first, if you can, then morphine later. Morphine is, like I said, morphine is for pain and for stamina. That is it. Now, if you're in a firefight where you can't give yourself a good 10 seconds to actually bandage yourself, put a tourniquet on. Tourniquets have saved my life in this game so much. My character is not hurt, so I cannot put one on right now. But say if I was in a firefight right here, I would, take cover, throw a tourniquet on. It only takes about a second or 2, maybe if that. It takes very little to put a tourniquet on, and it'll slow your heart rate down. Speaking of heart rate, this rolls into the next one. When you're bleeding, your heart rate will increase and you'll lose more blood. The faster your heart rate goes, that means the more blood you lose. The more blood you lose, the grayer your screen gets. Now, the only thing that can bring you back from getting a gray screen is saline. I do not have any on me, but I will show you. Open this arsenal. That is saline solution. That is something you want to keep on your kit, at least one of these. That will keep your character from passing out from blood loss. That is the only thing that will help with that. Because you can bandage your character up, but if you have a lot of blood loss, you're still going to have that gray screen, and it's going to be a long time before you improve. That saline will bring that color back, and it'll bring your stamina back up as well. One thing that I find really annoying is when I'm trying to snipe, and something is in my way, but I'm not quite crouched enough to see over it, but if I stand, I'm out in the open. So how do you get around that? You can actually adjust your exact height of crouching. On controller, you hold down the right stick, and then with the left stick, you slowly drag it down. And you can adjust fine increments of where you are. See, I'm actually lower than crouching, but I'm not quite laying down yet. So that way I can actually shoot right off of the sandbag and have a lot more cover on me. If you're playing Russians and you have an AK, a lot of the AK magazines can be exchanged, meaning you can actually take an RPK mag and put it into this AK, which is a 45 round mag. So that way you can stop using those 30 round mags and place a 45 round mag in. See, it's the exact same ammo type, 545 by 39. It's just a larger mag. So that if you run the normal AK or even the small AK, this one right here, the AK-74 UN, you can actually throw a 45 round mag into this thing, which is really cool. Little things like this make the game so much more realistic, and it just makes it feel awesome. Because in real life, you can stick those mags in and it works. So you get that much more fun. That is going to be it for the video. Please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this video. I hope this helped out a lot of new players. Like I said, I know I have a video out already, a couple of them for tips and tricks, but I want to go back and refine them a little bit and talk about some new tricks that I learned as well. With that being said, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.